Why do so many people feel disconnected despite having more information, opportunity, and education than any generation before them? This is a short ebook to explore this question. Chapter 1: Something isn't adding up. When I was younger, I thought adulthood worked like a formula. You go to school, you get educated, you work hard, make good decisions, and keep improving yourself. Eventually, life would make sense. In many ways, that formula has never been more achievable than it is today. We carry more information in our pockets than entire libraries once held. We can learn almost any skill online. We have access to experts, books, podcasts, courses, and research from every corner of the globe. We know more about the human brain, the body, and behavior than any generation before us. Yet something feels off. And not for everyone, but for enough people that it's worth paying attention to. Have you ever noticed how many people seem exhausted despite all the convenience around them? How many people feel anxious despite having more security than previous generations? How many people feel disconnected despite being connected to hundreds or thousands of people online? And how many people spend years chasing goals only to arrive and wonder why they still feel empty? And this shows up everywhere. An executive who can't switch off, the parent who feels guilty no matter how much they do, the teenager scrolling endlessly looking for something they can't quite name, or the business owner who achieves the goal and then immediately moves the goalpost, the employee counting down the days until Friday only to spend Sunday dreading Monday. We tend to treat these as separate problems: stress, burnout, mental health, lack of purpose, relationship issues. But what if they're actually connected? What if they're symptoms of the same underlying issue? Education has become remarkably good at teaching us about the world that we live in and how it works. But how much time was spent teaching you how your own mind works? Workplaces spend billions improving productivity. How much is spent helping people understand why they react the way they do? We learn mathematics, science, history, and language, all of which are immensely valuable. Yet most people leave school without understanding how fear shapes decisions, how beliefs are formed, why emotions can take over logic, or why two people can experience the same event in completely different ways. So medicine has become incredibly effective at keeping us alive. Technology has transformed almost every aspect of our daily life, and psychology has given us profound insights into human behavior. None of these are failures. In fact, they are some of humanity's greatest achievements. And yet, many people still wake up with a feeling that is difficult to explain, a feeling that they're busy and unfulfilled, connected but lonely, informed but uncertain, and essentially capable but stuck, as if life is happening, but they're somehow missing it. Maybe you felt it yourself, not all the time, just in some moments when the distraction stops, when the next task isn't demanding your attention, when you finally get a moment to breathe and ask a question: is this it? Not because life is terrible, and certainly not because you failed, but because somewhere underneath all the doing, a part of you suspects something important has been overlooked. Most people respond to that feeling by doing more learning, more planning, more goals, more distractions, self improvement, in seeking certainty. Yet, what if the answer isn't hidden in something new? What if the thing we're looking for has been sitting underneath everything the whole time? Before we ask what we're doing with our lives, perhaps there's a more profound question, one that almost nobody asks. Who is the we that is living life? Chapter 2: Do you know who you are? At first glance, that sounds like a ridiculous question. Of course, you know who you are. You've known your name your entire life. You know where you were born. You know what you do for work. You know your history, your likes, your dislikes, strengths. Maybe you know your struggles. Imagine I asked you to describe yourself. Most people start with roles: the father, mother, husband, wife, manager, tradie, retired. And then if we keep talking, they usually move to characteristics. I'm driven, maybe that they feel anxious, that they're creative, maybe they have a label like I'm ADHD or introverted, resilient, and then come up some stories. I've always been this way. I've never been good with money. I sometimes struggle with relationships. I don't have confidence. I'm always the responsible one. I'm the black sheep of the family. And here's something interesting. None of those things are actually you. They're descriptions, experiences, patterns, or roles and conclusions. If tomorrow your job disappeared, would you still be you? Most people would say yes. When your children grow up and they leave home, are you still you? Again, most people would say yes. What if you moved countries, changed careers, lost all your possessions? There'd still be a you under